We are we are live here together with Elizabeth Knittel, and I would like to. Did I pronounce your last name correct? Knittel?
It's actually Knittel. It's German.
Knittel.
Mhm.
Okay, Knittel. What did you say? German?
It's German, yeah. So you said the K. I don't know.
Well, Knittel. Well, thank you, Elizabeth Knittel. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
We met at Jenna's Soul Tingle, and I tuned into you, and you have this divine nature of you. You're just a radiant person. So I'm so thrilled to have you here and to hear more about your work and who you are. And for those who hasn't been able to check out Elizabeth yet, is she's a spiritual transformation mentor, intuitive healer, and it also says daily miracles, alignment, spiritual breakthroughs, and you are located in Georgia, USA.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, Elizabeth, who are you?
So I'm Elizabeth Knittel, and I am located in South Georgia, like an hour south of Savannah, near the Georgia-Florida line. And so I am an intuitive healer and spiritual mentor. Um, and I really have, I am so grateful for all the kind words that you said. The woman that I am today is not the woman that I've always been. I really struggled for 18 years, battling an eating disorder and then an alcohol addiction. And through experiencing true miracles, I was relieved of those. And it really took me years to learn to truly surrender and trust. But then I started to develop my spiritual gifts and really tap into my intuition. Well, it actually came like a lightning bolt, but like first the miracle was the addictions were removed. And then after really working on sobriety and who I was for a few years, it was like another lightning bolt of claircognizance and knowing things, and clairaudience started to pop through, and things just were completely different. And I was really called to do this work on a run one day. And when you're called, you can't, like, there's no. It's like, of course, I'm allergic to technology, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that is amazing because you actually did walk the hard path. You didn't take any shortcuts.
No.
No, you didn't. So, but you had a lot of I was about to say epiphanies, but you call it light bulbs, bulbs, light bulbs. Yeah, difficult word. But those enlightenment put you in a new direction into this spiritual path. So, how did you move from, like, did it work overnight, or was it a long process for you?
Well, so what with I had white light moments. So that was overnight. Like I literally was driving, and I had gone and I had bulimia, so I would binge and purge, and I had gone and bought food to binge on, and I wasn't doing it very often at that point, but for like so many years I had just done it every day, all day, and it ruined everything. I mean, if like there's so many things people don't realize that can come of that disease. And I started to eat, and I felt, and this light came into my car and came into my body, and it came in from my feet and then went all the way up, and it was this warm, most loving feeling of safety and security. And suddenly I knew that I was loved unconditionally. I knew that I was here for a purpose, that I was created on purpose, and that everything that I had been through was for a purpose, and that I was going to be okay. And then I heard a man's voice say, Elizabeth, you don't have to live like this anymore. And then it went through the top of my head and out of the car. And I was driving in Atlanta traffic, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I was really changed on a cellular level. My brain was changed from the obsessive thoughts. Like it was like I had been in a straitjacket, and all of a sudden I was free. And so that was that freedom. It was incredible, because I didn't even realize, like, I knew I was in trouble. I knew that I needed help, but and I had been to rehab, and that didn't really, I mean, it kind of helped me learn stuff, but still the obsessive thoughts were there, the addictive tendencies were there, and this removed everything. And so in that way, it was like I changed overnight. But then after that, it was now learning to live a normal life, learning to live and be free. And what do I do with my time? What do I do when I'm alone? Who am I? What do I like? What is my favorite color? All of these things were so new to me, because I had just been brainwashed by these addictive substances for so long. So
It's like
that was
waking
the
up and see
process.
with new eyes, see what's all around you with new eyes, and yeah, wow, that must have been a quite experience.
It was, but I think and it was all important. And I just remember knowing, if my experience can help one other person, then it's all worth it.
Mm.
And and I did for years focus on serving those struggling with eating disorders or struggling with alcohol addiction. Today, I work more with those who've gone through, or that are gone through spiritual awakenings and are on that spiritual path. And a lot of them have history, that wounded healer history, because I think that can be part of our path.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy to at any time speak with somebody who's battling an eating disorder or battling through alcohol, but that's not where I specialize. Now I specialize more on going through the spiritual awakening, and then the spiritual growth, the ascension, and all the ascension, all of the things that come along with just being on a spiritual path, because it's not an easy road. And once you're on it, you can't not be on it anymore.
No, true. Yeah, just moving forward. Yeah, and we are in the ascension time, so it's right on time. But I do also believe that everything that you have been through has led up to this. So we all have our different ways to move forward to the time we are in right now. I'm just going to pop back a bit when you saw everything with new eyes and start to question the things around you, because I scrolled through your pages, your link tree, and so just to get a picture of who you are. And I saw your studio, and I can see the background that you have right now too. And there's a lot of artwork and colors that are very, very powerful and give a lot of healing when I look at them, that they have a message. So I just need to ask you, is art one of your expressions lines, or is it just something that comes natural to you to have surround yourself with colors? Or
It is definitely, well, it's that sacral chakra, that creativity. So I do paint some, but most of it is artwork that I buy, but it's the interior design and putting things together. And that's the fourth studio I've designed. for myself, and I did our whole house, and I like to surround myself with like beautiful, happy, and love is the name. Like my business is pure love, because everything boils down to love, and
Mhm.
where there's love, there cannot be fear. But yeah, so that is one of the ways that I like to express my creativity, and also express it so that people can see it, and it's an expression of who I am.
Mm. I know that was a bit of a sidetrack, but I just had to ask because
I really appreciate it, because I have like I love it. I love it so much.
yeah, and I definitely love the picture behind you, because when I look at it, I can see that the both, the butterfly, there's what I see is a guitar.
Mhm.
So I connect that you're working a lot with both the etheric realms and your voice or music. So that is quite exciting, I think, because
Thank
there's a special
you.
vibration to that. I love it. Well, back to you now once again. So you are there, and you change your direction from working with alcohol and disorders into working more with people who are on their spiritual path in this ascension process. So is that how you are when you are describing yourself as a spiritual transformation mentor and intuitive healer? So that is where you are right now. But
Right.
yeah, so what exactly is it that you are doing? Are you guiding people, or is it healing sessions?
So I have both. I do both.
Mhm.
I'm a certified life coach. So but I prefer the term mentor. So I
Me too.
guide
Mm.
through that way. So usually I meet with clients that at that time, and then I have a healing subscription, and then when you work with me, then you're part of this group. So I do group healings weekly, that and I started when I had my second awakening, which was like it was very much like the first one. um and it was when all my clairs woke up, and I realized that I knew things, and that I could hear things, and um, that I was here called to help more people heal than I could do in my studio. Oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were talking about your mentoring and healing.
So that is so the first thing I did, sorry about like a hair, was I got attuned to Reiki, because I knew that was that was going to be like the healing was really important. And I also have been an esthetician, so like skincare and chemical peels and things like that, for 15 years. And so I've been healing with my hands, and I always get phenomenal results. And I didn't realize it was because I had this healing touch. I just thought it was really good with chemicals. But turns out that I have that healing touch. And then I got attuned to Reiki, and then I started to study alchemy and sacred geometry. I have a teacher that I've been studying under for 3 years, and so it's a mixed modality healing sessions that are really guided by the people or person's soul that I'm working on. And
Mm.
so I do offer one-on-one sessions where we'll talk for a little bit, and then I'll do a healing on them usually. And the more you do it, the more healing work you do, the more you change,
Mm.
the because we are so, I mean, we're just so intricate and there's so many layers. And so things come up to be cleared when it's time to clear them. But then when you clear that, then something else comes up. And so it's, so I like working with people for a month, for 3 months, for 6 months, for 9 months, you know, just depending on what, where they are. And a lot of times we'll start off with a month and then extend it, you know.
So that's the mentor program, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said something when you started, you talked about you did group healing, and I wanted to drop back to that because I love group healing myself. There's so much power in it where you come together.
The power in the collective is so,
yeah, it is, but it's not so something that you hear so much about it, not least here. Well, you can do group healing, of course, but not in this sort of mentor program. So how will you talk a bit more about these group healing events that you have, your point of view of it?
So what it is so I have a subscription, so that anybody that wants it to be a member, it's weekly. We do meet weekly on Thursdays, and if all you wanted to do was do the healings, it's like it's $111 a month, which is like $27 a week, which is crazy because if you do a one-on-one healing, usually that's like $222 or something. And so you come, and if you can't come, like I've got some, like one of my clients is in Israel, so it's like the middle of the night for her. So if it's the middle of the night, doesn't matter because your soul is included. And then I just send them the videos. And the soul's really whatever's going on in the group. So I create a sacred container and call in the souls that will be in the group. And there's so much power in and the ability to really raise the frequency of the group and do the most healing when you're working with a group, because everybody, there's transference, but everybody's going through the same healings, but they're all dictated by different people's souls. So for instance, last week, I was clear everything, and I was clearing ears, and somebody's clairaudience was waking up, and so I spent special time there, and somebody's throat was really needed it, and so they just tell me when I'm working, like, and so we'll just stay in one area longer if we need to, and everybody feels lighter and just so much better, and it's amazing. I've had people with severe depression and anxiety tell me that they, woke up the next day and they had hope and energy and excitement for life, and these, we can remove blocks that are in the mental body, that are in the emotional body, whereas because we're working on your spiritual body, your mental body, your emotional body, and then your physical body.
That is the beautiful and the benefits of working together in a group, because you are pulling each other forward. That is my experience of it. So I love the concept. So are you having is Patreon? Are you on Patreon so people can?
I'm not on Patreon. I actually have it's a private Facebook membership. So what I do is I live stream it into a private YouTube page, and then post it.
I got it. So if they want to read more about it, they can check out your Facebook page or
they can just direct message me, really, because the Facebook page is private.
I got it. So We are not going to talk so much about how they can reach you yet. That
Oh,
was a
that's
sidetrack
fine.
again. I'm so confused today. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. There are new energies pouring in here, so I'm a bit off track. But well, I'm checking out your Pure Love and Beauty, your homepage.
My
So
website.
shall we talk a bit about that? Because it says life coaching, quantum freedom program, inner circle service and treatments. So I scroll down to see what you have, and you have a lot to offer. I love it. You have a very broad concept. It's not just the spiritual path. You also have, you're connecting body, mind, and soul. You are actually, what do you call it? Aesthetic
Yeah, so I do
aesthetic
am a
healer,
licensed
or
esthetician. Yeah, and so I do, if you're close, I have in service where clients come to me for like skincare, but always with energy healing.
Mhm.
And it's a different concept because most people, if you're going to go get a facial or something, then you get a facial and a massage. I don't really do much massage, but I do a lot of energy work. And it's really interesting because I have a LED light that is that infrared light therapy.
Mhm.
And so when people get under the light and then I work on them, everybody goes, that is like a psychedelic trip.
Oh, really? That's wonderful. It's a healthy, wonderful reaction.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. No substances needed. And that's the amazing thing. But yeah, I offer it really is mind, body, and spirit, because we are here as a whole, and we chose to come here, we chose our bodies, and we only get this one, and so it's taking care of our bodies and our minds and our spirits while we're here. And the mental body, I have battled major depression, and really energy healing has helped so much with that.
Mm.
And it's amazing because things get trapped in your mental body, or things will get trapped in your emotional body, and it can be dealing with, it can even be past life stuff that needs to be cleared.
Mm.
um, and so I do a lot of, and what comes through, is what the soul brings forward to be cleared.
Yeah, because you do have a lot of things on that you are offering to your clients, and healing is such a broad concept. There's a lot of things in the word of healing. So, but you mentioned that you are also tracking the energy back. Are you talking about the Akashic, or are
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Yeah. So we do go into the Akashic fields, if
Mm.
especially if we're gonna dip into some past life stuff that needs to be healed. Finding new timelines, and helping you to understand and level up your ability to create the life that you are ultimately here to create. Because if you can dream it, if you can desire it, and then it was put in your heart for a reason, you can achieve it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. If you can feel it, touch it, and see it, it's already there. Just
Right.
waiting for it to be brought into this reality. Love that concept. I also see that it says quantum freedom.
Right. So freedom, not just in the 3D, but really freedom in every area of your life, like that. being free from depression, being free from addictions, being free from, financial freedom, and just that abundance mindset, and literally not living as a slave to anything. So it's that freedom that really is the peace that surpasses all understanding.
That is amazing, actually. And the next question will be, since you are mentioning that you had your second awakening, and I'm a bit curious because you have this energy you feel around you that you probably know that you are originated from a other collective.
Yeah.
Will you talk about that?
Well, it's funny because I got a reading with Ray, who was also in the spiritual or the soul tingle. And there's Palladian starseed, there's Lyran markers, there's Aturian markers. So and I can't remember what book it is, but my soul has been around for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but are you sensing that you can bring in that energy in the work that you are doing, or are you just being newly aware of this other?
So it's becoming aware, and then aware specifically. But when my gifts started to open and I was working with my teacher, she kept telling me, just do your work and you'll get downloads. Things will just come to you. So just trust what you see and what you hear and what you know. And so I do believe that a lot of my gifts do come from other lifetimes and other star seeds, and but as far as really getting into it, it's a new area for me to really dip my toes in and study. But I can't get enough of all the stuff, so I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I had this word in my head when I was starting to talk about you and that you were coming alive, and I describe you as a channeler because that is how I see you, that you channel information. So I was just a bit curious if you were channeling from a certain collective, if you had that. I do know that it's showing itself through the work. It's hard not to notice that, but I just was curious if you have this channeling, open channeling, that you are channeling messages from the collective, like the Pleiadian collective or the Arcturians, or if you are connected. Therefore, it's in your work. It's definitely in your work. But I was just
and the awareness, my awareness around specifically where it's coming from is opening up. So I do channel. That's exactly what I do when I'm in a healing session. I never know what's going to come out. I never know,
you
and
just trusting the process. Yeah.
Right. There's a prayer that I say and process, and I connect, and I connect only with the highest levels of divine healing light, which I'm very, clean energy about. And then I just trust what comes through, and it's amazing. But no, I haven't been aware that of where I was channeling from other than the highest levels of divine healing light.
Yeah, that is definitely showing. So you are just a sparkling bundle of joy to both watch and listen to. So now, where are you moving from this part? Because now you have talking about what you are doing. Do you have something that lies in front of you that you know that you are going to change direction into? Are you tapping into something?
So I've had some shifts. I used to only work one-on-one, and now I'm doing group work to be able to help serve more people at at one time. But as far as, I'm not going anywhere. I really love the mentorship and I love the healing work that I'm doing. So it's just more layers of doing that.
Mm.
Um,
Is there something that I have forgot to mention about your work? Because you're in on Instagram and you have this homepage and you have Linktree and
with so many things.
yeah, well, we are all like that because that is the social media, right? So we have to be structured. But have I forgotten to mention something? Because we've been talking about the healing and your mentorship and mini remote session healing. Yeah, that was something that I was intrigued to ask you. What exactly is this remote session healing? Is that when you were tracking down the old paths that are affecting you, or what is it?
So a mini remote is, instead of hopping on, most of my sessions are on Zoom like this.
Mhm.
But for a mini remote, then I just work on your energy. Like you set up, you answer questions, like when you're booking, you answer questions, and then I do your healing, and then I will voice note you what came through.
Mm, interesting. You have so much. I want to dive into to read everything about it, but we're not going to do that here live. And I don't try to get too much information before we meet because I would really love to hear you describe by yourself about what you are doing. So, yeah, is there something else you want to bring up?
Um, I just, it astounds me because the results of working with me are so immediate and the miracles happen, and they don't just happen one time. And my testimonials and things, speak of it, because you experience results immediately and are able to really go in and clear things out and shift your perspective, because you can, just like you were saying, like, I wasn't really any different from one minute to the next, but it was such a perspective. Everything was changed and clear, and seeing things with new eyes. And so having the ability to help others see things with new eyes and to clear out energetic blocks and things like that, it truly is a miracle, and it helps them to realize the power of their own ability to create miracles in their lives and to witness that.
And the immediately effect is also something that will continue for a bit after you have
Yes, I've
received
got
that.
a client that I worked with a couple years ago, and I talked to her, and she was like, we need to go do live because I have to tell everybody how you were the catalyst and my life is completely changed. And she said, get that. Oh, could you try again? My watch is talking. It's like, and so that's what's so beautiful, is to see people, and even as when they stop working with me, they don't revert back to old behaviors, which I think happens a lot of times, especially if you are only working with somebody for a short time. It's really changing that cellular DNA level and changing your heart and changing your perspective and being able to open up to receive unconditional love, and learning to receive it and give it to yourself and then give it to others really is my purpose here as a healer.
Yeah, I can relate to that. As a healer, when we are doing Reiki, for example, we can use that. Everybody knows what Reiki is.
I know.
So when you have this attunement, the first step of the Reiki, there are so many who wants to proceed into the other steps very rapidly. But what I have seen is that people don't feel like, oh no, I'm randomly talking about from my heart here. People usually don't see the the effects on long term, because there's so much going on energetically when you receive an attunement or a healing session, and it needs to be integrated. And sometimes people are saying, I don't notice that something has happened, but then when they are looking back from another perspective, they see that there has been a lot of energetic things that have changed in their lives, and how they think, how they react, and even how they are, radiating from themselves. So
Absolutely.
um,
And that's the thing, is energy healing can be very subtle, where you aren't aware of how much has changed until you're looking back, and then you're going, whoa.
um, and yeah, and that is the amazing thing, because everybody has these different approaches and different effects on how the receiver will receive it. So I noticed when you did your session on Soul Tingle, everybody felt it instantly, and everybody had almost the same experience there too. So you have a very powerful energy that you can, give away, even though we are
Mhm.
sitting on Zoom or Facebook or whatever. So that is quite amazing, because we need those things too. We need to feel that something is actually happening, especially when we have not been connected to this energy before. We need to feel that something is actually taking place within ourselves. So if you haven't tuned into that Soul Tingle, rewatch Jana Pinkstone's Soul Tingle, and watch when Elizabeth do this healing transformation. Should I say session?
Yeah.
Or yeah, session. Because that was really amazing and worth doing. So
Thank you. Yeah, and that's what Jenna was like, you can do whatever you want, you can talk, or, and I was like, well, I find that it's more effective if I do a demonstration, and so everybody can get something from it.
definitely. So if people want to connect with you, where should they go?
I'm most active on my Instagram. And my handle is Elizabeth Love Healer. And I can, and there's fake account out there, so you have to be
Oh
careful.
yeah, yeah.
So it's at
I
Elizabeth
noticed that.
Love, not Healer. But if people send me DMs, I'm really active in my direct messages. And I do check my messages on Facebook too, but not as often. I'm more active on Instagram.
Mm. So, and if they want to read up more about the healing sessions that you have, they can just pop into the link tree and follow the.
And right, and my website is up there, and my email is on there, and so you can always email me. So if you prefer to go about it that way.
Yeah, because I do hope that people are coming in and using that link and connect with you, because you're an amazing soul. So
Thank you.
any final words before we end this?
Thank you for having me on. You have such beautiful energy. I feel so calm and relaxed and happy.
Well, thank you for bearing with me for this crazy things that are happening with the electricity here and
Yeah.
everything around. So yeah, we are not talking about the electricity now. Well, thank you so much for being here, Elizabeth. It was a blessing to have you here, and I hope definitely that I will be able to reconnect with you in the future, to follow up on your work and your progress,
Yeah,
and where you are going.
absolutely. I would love it. Just message me and we'll get you set up anytime.
Yeah, and thank you for watching. And as I said, follow Elizabeth on Linktree, and you will find out more about her amazing work. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Elizabeth. See
Thank
you
you.
soon, and love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.